All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, and honor to salutations to all you Akim out there that's laboring in this truth and sincerity, all you sincere Akim. And this is going to be a quick lesson through the spirit, and call it everything is going to shit. Okay, all is going to shit, or however the spirit had me write it out. But and of course, this is speaking about the situation here in Babylon. Because see, a lot of people, even, and it's amazing at this point in time with everything that's happened, that you still got people that are not believing in the prophecies, that are not paying attention to the prophets, which overall they see us, so they're gonna have no choice but to acknowledge it. But the thing is that it's gonna be a lot of death. All we've been talking about is death, and there's nothing to stop it. And if you see that the way things are, like, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I mean, through the grace of Yahweh Shem Shah, we've been knowing that things was gonna happen like this for years, decades, whatever, however long. And now we're here, in 2023, the hopeful year of all the prophecies being fulfilled, as the Spirit had Elder Apostle Tahar coined it, right? So now this right here, this article, you see, this is from the New York Post. It says more than 7,000 NYC nurses go on strike as contract talks break down. And see, this is what's happening today, right? January 9th, 2023. And see, in this right here, when you got things that are this bad, where they having these strikes, where they got to transfer the pregnant women that are having children to other hospitals. And you see, because normally in the time past they would never let it get to this point, right? And remember, and seeing what people are realizing more and more now, but we've been telling you, is that this government don't give a damn about you, man. You see what I'm saying? That's just the spirit that's in this devil that's in power. Matter of fact, before I go into the article, let me just let me get this in Proverbs real quick. I started off with Proverbs, what is it, 28? No, 29, pardon me. 29 and 2. Yep, Proverbs 29, Salakia. Proverbs 29, verse 2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right, so that's another proof to prove that the so-called white man is not righteous. Okay, he's not the Israelites, because the scriptures tell you when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And as we're about to get into, you see they're not rejoicing now. They're protesting and going on strike pretty much throughout the country. All right, but the scriptures say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. In our kingdom, it ain't gonna be no more sadness, people protesting, crying, and sickness. It ain't gonna be none of that, man. See, that's reality, man. See, what people are living in, they say that we, like we're dreamers or whatever the case is. No, we dream reality, man. All right, y'all stuck in a nightmare, man, of falsehoods, man. Because this is not reality. This world as we know it, was they call America, wherever part of the world you in, this is not really reality, man. All right, meaning that what? The stuff that is happening is wicked, and it's not going to last forever. A man is not supposed to be a woman. Okay, they still talk some damn transmission Olympics and all. That's all bullshit and nonsense, man. That's not going to be happening. That's not reality, man. All them fucking whacked out weirdo motherfucking foul spirits, the Most High is going to burn them up, man. The Most High gonna burn them up. He gonna lay that judgment down. That judgment is coming. All right. So that's why these things are happening, man. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. We praying the Most High continue to fan the fire, like the Lord said. So it said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So that's self-explanatory. So now, going back to this article in the Post, matter of fact, let me see if I can play some of the clip first, and then I want to jump to a few parts in here. All right. Now check this out. Let's see. Is it going to play? right? So they talking about patient care. So now this is one of the biggest hospitals. I think what is it? One of the Mount Sinai hospitals. I'm not sure if this is the one that's in the Bronx. I'm not no or Manhattan. The massive staffing blow at Mount Sinai Hospital's main campus in Manhattan, right? In 3 locations of the Montefiore Medical Center. That's the one in the Bronx. So these are big time major hospitals, man. Right? These are the biggest. So you don't want them to be striking. And there's already was a shortage of nursing staff and everything of that nature. A lot of people die, a lot of people such and such and such, right? And this is not just here. This is all throughout. Well, even in the UK, they're going through it out there. I got I know a cousin. I got a cousin that's a nurse, right? And she said in the facility that they're in, she said pretty much they're doing so much shit that is not even protocol or whatever. Basically, they're letting people get whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not going through the proper, she said she could see them literally doing the shit, And that's the condition that everything is in right now. So if this is the state of the medical department, what do you think is going to happen, man? You see? And that's because we told you about America. America is Babylon the Great. Matter of fact, I'll go back to where we was at in the book of Revelations. Because see, these prophecies are going to come to pass, man. And all the other bullshit motherfuckers want to still play around and joke, be folly demons, man. Man, the death to all you foul niggas, man. Or you foul spirits, you foul bitches, you foul demons, man. Because this is the buck stops here. After America, you ain't going to be able to do no more of your wicked, grimy, or none of that wicked stuff that you motherfuckers are comfortable with doing with. And I'm just saying that in general to all them wicked spirits, all the evil spies, agents, false brothers, people bearing false witness, these wicked ass women that we've met, we know, and still, all that shit's gonna stop here, man. You see, because why? When you read this in matter of fact, I'll start at the first verse, but it's heavy because before, when we used to break this scripture down, Revelations, the 18th chapter, right, in the second verse, we used to break it down because we received it from High Priest REI, right, in which that's what it was for that time. Ain't no knock on him or whatever, but we thought that was like an incoming thing. But then the Spirit had Apostle Tahar go deeper, as things later on, and went into, wait a minute, no, this is in past tense, So everything that I'm saying is a guarantee. It already done happened. You see? So that's why now it's just playing out. But anyway, Revelations 18, I start the first verse. It said, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And that's the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai with the chariots. He's coming back with those same chariots, the same so-called UFOs. You better get used to hearing this, man. I don't know what any other Israelite groups is out there talking about, but if they ain't talking about the prophecies, the main prophecies, the prophecies of the Bible of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which entails it coming up, the most important is Yahweh Shai, right? His return, okay? The chariots, the so-called UFOs, the angels, all right? And prior to that, before that happens, if they don't speak about the MO to the T, all right? The charagma, they're not speaking about that. Then they bugging. They really not speaking about nothing because that's a major prophecy. Okay, if they're not speaking about the famines that are coming, okay, and how basically even going into the I forget so many different what you call it, abbreviations, the DC, whatever, the digital currency and all that, how all that, and that all ties in together with the prophecies in the scriptures. So if you're not speaking on these, you got to speak on these things. You got to speak on these things, man. Especially at a time like right now, you see? So if you ain't talking about the famine, the great slaughter that's coming and how Esau, the scriptures talk, why you think in the 12th chapter, it says the devil has come down with great wrath because he know if he have a short time left, man. All right? So you're supposed to be talking about these things which all lead up to the destruction of this wicked society, man. All right? At the end of the day, it ain't no time to be talking about, I mean, yeah, we established the law. We're not saying not to do the law, but it ain't no time to be talking about, oh, brother, your garment is missing a fringe or like little, come on, man. You understand? Husbands, love your wives and all. Come on, man. The scriptures say they that have wives be as though they had none, man. Man, majority, you got to be prepared that the woman that you with very well might not make it out of here, but you better hope, but you hoping that you make it up out of here, man. You know? Now, if the spirit allow, so be it. But I'm just thinking like Lot, I'm thinking like Lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Lot ain't look back for that bitch, man. You gotta be in this truth for yourself and your how about Shimei Awashai. Then everything else comes after. You understand? Because you got a lot of guys that live to please their woman. You ain't gonna make it like that, man. The Most High is a jealous power. Got a lot of guys who live to please their own appetite. You ain't gonna make it because that's part of the sacrifice. You're supposed to put this truth before your own, your own appetite, your own ego. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to kill your ego. When you come into this truth, you can't have no ego. All right, and if you wanted the men of the Lord gonna break you down, man. The Most High gonna break you down so he can build you back up the right way, which is for your own good anyway. All right, but now it says, and he cried with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Now, Babylon the Great represents America. We went into the breakdown plenty of times. We went to the word Babylon itself, right, from the Hebrew Babel, which means confusion. All right. Yes, there was an ancient city of Babylon, right? Yeah, we know about that, Iraq and all that. But this Babylon, you got what's called Babylon the Great. All right. Then you also have in the scriptures, it talks about the virgin daughter of Babylon. So it's not speaking about the ancient Babylonians. It's speaking about modern day Babylon, which is here in America. So when it said Babylon the Great is fallen, meaning America was destroyed. All right. That's what this whole chapter is going into, the destruction of America. So it's telling you that America was destroyed and has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird, which that goes back into, matter of fact, let me just get it, just to reference it. In Isaiah, it's in 2 points. Isaiah 13. Let me get straight to the point. Then it's in 14 as well. Okay, so now this is Isaiah 13 and 17. It says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. The Medes, the modern day Medes are the Russians that are there now. Not that they're the original Medes going back to Japheth. We're not saying that, but you got to understand placement. Just like you got today over here in Babylon, and the ruler right now is a so-called white man. Like throughout history, people change from different places, just like Egypt. Egypt, they is synonymous with Alexandria. It's still got the Greek name and title over it. And in Egypt itself, you don't have the original Egyptians there. All right, which really goes back to Mizraim. All right, so just making that point. So when it says, I will stir up the Medes against them, that's speaking about Magog, that area over there, which is known today as Russia, right? Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. And you got to keep, listen, they're back and forth. They're shooting down 600 soldiers, 400 soldiers it is. They'll shoot down 600. They sit there sending their missiles out, going around on a tour or whatever. So you got to pay attention to these things, because the Lord said he's stirring up them. He's putting the spirit to stir them against them. And with this, when this, going into this next January, February, man, shit's going to pop off, man. It's going to be, at least I'm not going to be surprised. I'll say that much, because right now it's ready to burst, and that's why even the name of this lesson, everything is going to shit. Like, pretty much everything is off the table. They're coming out saying everywhere is affected. You go into China, they pretty much they finally, I think after 2 years, they lifted the lockdown over, and it's because pretty much they infected everybody. And they're saying pretty much over here everybody's infected by now. They said if you ain't get it then, you got it now. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, but we know how this devil is, man. The scriptures speak about the instruments of the churl, all right, which is meaning that a churl is a wicked, evil motherfucker, lack of better words, okay? But the instruments going into their devices, so we understand what's happening. All right, and that's why again you gotta go back to what the Lord said in Matthew the 24th chapter, that He has to cut that time short, right? Because if He does, if not, if those days, except those days be shortened, no flesh shall be saved. Because we could see it. Basically, this government, which they're behind all of this shit, all right, even though they sit there and put these talking heads on it that lie their ass off, lie. Then you find out, and then they come out, okay, yeah, it's, what you gonna do? Yeah, we lied to you. So what? Right? Then they start bullying you dummies, fucking with your intellect, right? Brain fucking you, right? But anyway, the way they're going, they poisoning every fucking thing just to bring in their new world order, all right? To make everybody bow down and take that charagma. Because that's what their whole thing, their restart is based off of that charagma, having everybody connected, all right, physically with the digital awe, right? As the apostles say, that digital awe, they want to make sure everybody's connected, all right? That they control every single aspect of your life, even to your thoughts. Because that's another thing that they've worked on with that with the charagmas, being able to control thoughts and your dream. They showed you that, and I think, was it the 12 Monkeys? It was one of them movies. But anyway, this is the prophecy of the destruction that's going to come to America. And those are many reasons why the Most High has to come, and he's hastening, or we should be hastening for the Lord to come, right? As the scriptures speak of, right? Hastening the day. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. The eyes shall not spare children. Yeah, because once those missiles are launched, it ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna. Oh, wait a minute. They got a whole bunch of babies and kids. Look at right now. They going on a strike. That's how bad it is. They're not even worried about the mothers that about to go into labor and they got to figure that shit out. So not saying it's almost like, because it's almost like what happened in 70 AD to a degree. Even though that's talking about 70 AD, of course, when it says, woe to them that it would suck in that day. But I say, still, again, the same thing. Now ain't the time to be because why? Here it is, you could be up in a fucking hospital, and then the hospital could shut down. Okay? No backup system. Or they could just walk out and strike. Okay? Or certain hospitals could get targeted for terrorist attacks. Salaki for that. Just like the lights went off, right? On the phone. But so this is the prophecy, right? So it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, which is America, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So how was Sodom and Gomorrah? And America is also known as Sodom and Gomorrah. So you can't get around it, man. You can't get around the prophecies, the fact that the Bible references America all throughout. All right, America didn't just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? The Most High didn't know that there was going to be an America. No, this bitch came into power as the Most High prophesied and allowed her to come into power. Just so what? Just so he could destroy this bitch, man, and be glorified. That's how the Most High is going to be glorified. And just like as we read it, the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. See, it said it shall never be inhabited. Yeah, because Sodom and Gomorrah, they're not inhabited no more, right? So America on a whole is not going to be inhabited. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Yeah, meaning you ain't going to have people building strip malls it's going to be just a wasteland, man, a desert. It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Yeah, ain't going to be no fucking push carts and, halal meat and all that shit. Ain't going to be none of that, man. No Kennedy fried chickens. Okay? It said, neither shall their shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate house, right? And the dragons in their pleasant palaces, pardon me. Because, all these great you got certain parts in America that has mansions and just acres of land that's splendor with all kind of decked out pools. They got, a city within a city inside of their property. I don't tennis courts, basketball courts, land. They could sit there and race, drive on their lands, and got all kind of mansions and shit like that. Well, guess what? That's all going to become a desert, and you're going to have wild desert animals that's going to actually occupy those spaces. So that's what is when we read in Revelation. So the Spirit had Apostle Tahar go into that and uh, how would you say, clean that up, so to speak, or further bring more edification and let us know that that's actually speaking about after the missiles hit. Because as we read, he said, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. See? Fornication meaning what? Spiritual adultery. All right. In other words, they all started worshiping, worshiping the devil, basically, man. And see, and Esau got the whole world caught up with that. Was the jab, but with the charagma, you're gonna have all over the country, the whole world. He made everybody bow down to that, and that's why they were going taking out people, whoever was bringing any resistance that didn't want to, that try to withstand them. That's why the charagma was definitely a trial run to see who was, who would be, brave enough to go against them, knowing they're gonna get smashed. So anyway, this is what all these other nations have done, and that's why the other nations are gonna be angry. As the prophecy said, they should be angry. They should hate the whore, because they're gonna realize that basically all this shit that America been generating is not gonna prosper them. All right, it's gonna lead to the end of. Because see, a lot of you got the, like China, they thinking, okay, well, yeah, we bought the debt up and all this and that, and we got weaponry, we got missiles and stuff. So they thinking like they got next, that they're gonna be the next ruling power. You got those those towel heads or whatever you gonna call them, motherfuckers, those Elamites, East Indians. They thinking that they're gonna be the ones taking over, right? Because of what resources they put together and little bit of weapons they got. You got the so-called Russians, which are Edomites, really, right? But they acting like they different from the other Edomites. They think that they're gonna be the ones taking over next, and then the jerk, so forth and so on. When in actuality, none of them nations are going to be taken over next. The Lord is going to raise up the nation of Israel. And see, and this is what we know and believe, and this is what we're waiting for, man. All right, and that's another big prophecy, to see the Most High establish his nation back on this earth again, man. All right. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Yeah, that's the chariots, because simultaneously when the missiles hit, you're going to have the chariots beaming up the elect of Israel. Remember, it is about the elect of Israel. It's not about all Israelites. Yeah, the Israelites are the elect, but not all Israel are elected this trip. In other words, 2/3 are not going to make it. Those that are of that number. All right, it's about election. The scriptures tell you that all throughout the Old Testament, New Testament, it speaks about speaks about the election. You see, but Salakia says so that you receive not of her plagues. And what's the ultimate plague? The plague is what? Those missiles. When you go back to Zechariah the 14th chapter, that's what's gonna make people's eyes and their tongue burn in their mouth and stuff. Those nuclear missiles where it says in Malachi, what is it? Is it the 4th chapter? It says should not be a blade of grass left. What's gonna burn everything down to burn these high rises and all these structures and everything that's been built up. What's gonna burn everything and leave nothing but just waste? That's the nuclear missiles. That's the plagues that the Lord is going. Lord willing, hopefully we be of that number and we get beamed up. We'll be of that number, but that's what's going to purge this earth, man. You see, said for her sins have reached, talking about America, have reached into heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities, man. All of this wickedness, man, all from the poisoning of and fuck all the other people. Because the Most High say, he that toucheth you, meaning the real Israelites, toucheth the apple of his eye. All right. So one, you're guilty of still having us in your possession. And then two, you're guilty of putting more hell upon us, furthering the affliction. All right. So this devil got a lot to pay for, man. And the Most High is going to remember it. All the lynching, burning and lighting us on fire, burning down our towns, cities, uh, sacrificing our kids and all the stuff, that they still doing, man. All right? Sitting there poisoning the mind of these Jakes. That's why these Jakes are all bugged out, because they got that philosophy of the devil up in them, man. Where they think that, they could do whatever the hell they want, be whatever they want to be, the American way and all that shit. That's all wickedness, man. And that ain't going to last forever. It says, for her sins have reached into heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. But now let me get, kind of went somewhere else through the spirit, but we go back to this. So this is the, what you call it that they have, the strike, right? So, matter of fact, I'm going to read a little more here and I'm going to jump to the bottom. So it said the massive staffing blow at Mount Sinai Hospital's main campus in Manhattan and 3 locations of Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx was set to force the hospital to divert ambulances and some patients, including women about to give birth, to other facilities, officials said. So that's how bad it is, man. You probably gonna hear about women having to give birth in ambulances, cabs, at their houses and hallways and shit. Shit is like little. This is little stuff, but all these little things add up, and this shows you the state of America, man, and things that's happening. The strike battered hospitals also were rescheduling their staff to cover nursing shifts and canceling non-emergency surgeries. Right? It says Montefiore, however you say it, typically has the busiest emergency room in the state of New York, the busiest emergency room. So it's going to be all kind of chaos going in. People probably dropping dead right at the door. All right? And see, these things, and a lot of this stuff is going to get swept under the rug anyway. But again, this just goes to further show you that America, man, it's over with. And then all this marching and protesting doesn't mean nothing anyway, because even if they give you a temporary, because sometimes they'll make a temporary agreement, this, that, and the third, then they break it down. And when they don't need you no more, which they go into, matter of fact, let me get to it, right? Because this is what they finding out. This is the nurse, right? It said we were heroes only 2 years ago, right? Nurse Warren said we were on the front lines when everything came to a stop, and now we need to come to a stop so they can understand how much we mean to this hospital and to the patients. The nurse practitioner said, we were so-called heroes, and now this is how you treat the heroes. Well, look what they did during Vietnam. The people who actually so-called fought and died for this country. They treated them like shit. They came back home and they got them strung out on heroin and let them wither and die in the streets, man, and let their families just break apart and get caught into what other shit was going on during the drug epidemic and everything. They don't give a fuck about nobody, man. See, and we've been telling people that, man. We've been telling people that for the longest, but now y'all gonna see this devil, and it's funny because we was reading the scripture about never trust thine enemy. So y'all think just because you got people that are so tricked and they think, oh no, we got to do good humanity and do good for good people, go work at the hospital, I'm a volunteer and all of this, and you think that you're going to be rewarded. This government don't give a damn about you. They only care about you when they need you. You see? When they don't need you, they'll kick you to the curb. They'll shit on you. All right? They'll throw you right in the pit. You're just expendable, man. You see? You people don't learn, but you gonna learn. 2023. All right, that prophetic year, the year where all the prophecies come to pass, Lord willing, man. And we hoping, man. We hoping that this be the last year, man. We're hoping. I mean, if the Lord wanted to go to 24, 25, we know it ain't too much longer. All right, and we're gonna continue to keep pushing the Lord's word. He said, give him no rest till he make Jerusalem a praise on the earth. So we're gonna continue to the true watchmen, the prophets of the Most High. The real prophet, they're going to go out there regardless, man. All right. But anyway, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. You see? But the just shall live by his faith. So you go into this devil, and this devil, he's the devil. All right? Just because they sit there and put on the front, and you got, I mean, it is some so-called white people that don't really know. Majority of the people that work in these, that you come in contact with, they really don't know what's going on, right? The ones that are in the hospitals and stuff, they just figuring they just getting paid to do a job and everything. But the people that run all these corporations, big pharma, all the banking families, the people that fund, the people that gave the money for all these hospitals and things like of that nature, they don't give two shits about y'all, man. Everything is for their agenda. They know that they're the devil. They're the devil. Why you think they even created and play around with all these different diseases and everything, man? Why you think they do that? Because they just ain't right. we reading it, man. We reading it out of the Bible. All right, the book of the Lord. All right, the only book of the Lord. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. You know, which we know that to be a fact about these devils, man. All right, so anyway, man, this is a quick video. Just want to bring out the point, you know, showing you that, you know, hey, that's how Esau is. They use you and toss you to the curb. But this is, you know, this ain't a good look for America, man. You got the biggest hospital with the biggest emergency room that's supposed to be there to help people, and they had to go on strike. And this is happening in all these hospitals. The people, because they're overworked. You know, there's not enough staff. They, you know, they're not. They don't have the right stuff that they need. You know, certain hospitals are overcrowded. You know, now when you go to Edomite, you know, the rich, they don't have these problems, and they have their private hospitals and facilities, man. You see, but this is where Jake is at mainly, you know, and of course, again, it's a part of that war that they got going on against us, man. Part of that genocide, man. You know, Edomites ain't got to worry about their babies not being able to go to the hospital to deliver them and everything. But this is what's happening now. You see. But anyway, that's I'm gonna wrap it right there. You know, I hope this was edifying. Say Kyle Allah, Yahweh Bashim Shai. Shalom to you, sincere Akim. Shalom.